Hey, what's up, YouTube? So, I want to talk about when you're forced dispatch and you're working for Prime and you're a student driver. So you're in your TNT and the lease operator of that truck is telling you that you have to take this load no matter what. But he's already had like 2 34-hour resets, and he's worked it to where you're working all the time, and he's kicking back, relaxing in the back. So the truth is, you get on the Qualcomm. You don't let them call you on the phone. You say, if you have any response to this, I need you to do it on e-logs on the Qualcomm. And the reason why is because the coercion to forced dispatch, okay, is a $16,000 fine to your dispatcher and to the company. So the other thing is too, they don't want to leave any type of trail. So when your dispatcher's calling you and it has something to do with an argument or whatever, you make sure it's all on the Qualcomm. If they want to argue with you and retaliation, your dispatcher can do 3 years in jail, right? For your company as well. They'll be fined super big, and the FMCSA is now taking proof and everything for all of this. So my point is, when I was at Prime, I had a TNT trainer who was a lease operator, and I was with him for, I would say, the first half of my my TNT. Now, I can't remember if it was 30,000 miles I was supposed to do. Can't remember. Anyway, I was already on the truck 3 weeks. 5,000 miles a week should be easy to do when you have 2 drivers. Because I myself, as a solo driver, would do 32 to 3,500 a week, and that was easy for me. Long story short, all they did was work the dog out of you. And then when I refused the load, I said, look, man, I'm too tired to drive. I've been taking 5-hour energy drinks all week long, and they're hounding you. They're just hounding you, bro. And that's all they're doing, and they're gonna dog you. They'll dog you big time. But you remind them to put it all on the Qualcomm, and that is your proof. You take a picture of it with your phone. Take a picture of all of it. You record what the driver's saying, because it's his business. And record the dispatcher, because legally they can't force you to do anything. If you are out of service, if you're out of hours, if you're too tired to drive, if you are whatever reason that you've come up with that is a legitimate reason, say, you know what, I can't take this load because, you know, I'm too tired. Sorry, whatever. And that was me. He worked me 2 weeks non-stop, driving night and day. Night and day. And what I mean by that is, he would drive all morning long until my 8 hours was up, so I could run recaps. And then he'd put me in the driver's seat, and here I am running from evening to morning all the time. And then when the 2-hour break would come up, he would jump in the driver's seat and drive for 2 hours, and then jump back in his sleeper berth. So, guys, what I'm saying is, don't let these people push you around, because these rules and regulations, man, aren't just to screw you out of money. You know what I mean? They're there to help you as well. You just got to know how to use them. And I was recently here at the job I'm at now. I was forced dispatched, and I had to show them in their regulation book and all that kind of stuff. Where this was at, everything. Because they didn't believe me. So guys, get everything on your Qualcomm. Take pictures of it with your phone. Record the driver. Record your trainer. Because the trainers at Prime suck. And I'm telling you right now, there's like maybe 2 good trainers, maybe 3 that I know of personally. And one of them is Scott Fisher, and he's the coolest dude you'll ever meet in your life. But these other guys, man, they don't care about what you do. They don't care about what you do when you go home. All they care about is themselves. That's it. And the trainer told me, hey, look, if you don't stick up for yourself, you're going to get walked all over in this business because everybody's for themselves. And he said to me, that's the only piece of advice that he's going to give me. So I said, all right. And later on that night, me and him he almost ate his teeth. And I never have drove a reefer truck before. And I was only on the truck with this guy for like 2 weeks. You know what? I mean, it wasn't even 2 weeks. It was more like 3-4 days. And we pull up to this dock, and I told them that I wanted to do flatbed. And being at Salt Lake City, Brian over there wanted to put bigger numbers on his board. So he's starting to put all these guys that wanted to do flatbed to do reefer. Guys, if you say flatbed, if that's what you put on the paper, or if you put tanker, that's what you do. You don't let these bums, bro, and that's what they are. They're bums. They don't care about you. They don't care about nobody else but themselves. So you have to regulate. Like, really regulate on them. And you have to show them, hey, look, bro, these are my bills at home. This is what I need to make. I am not here to take one for the team. The day I take one for a team is the day I take a baseball bat to your computer. And that's what you tell them. Because they ain't there to be playing teams, bro. They don't play teams. You know what I mean? Because once you're in trouble, they're washing their hands clean from you. Especially at Prime. And that's who I'm talking about, is Prime. So, guys, don't be scared to become irate. I went irate on my dispatcher. I did. I told him he's a fucking loser and everything else. Pardon my language, but I mean, when my last paycheck was $250 because I didn't want to train. I told him straight up, hey bro, I don't want to train in the winter. I'm sorry. You know, I said, I'm from California, bro. We barely get snow out there unless you live in Tahoe. You know what I'm saying? And it's not where I lived. I lived right next to Oakland. So, no snow in Oakland. It's all right, bro, to go irate. Because they cannot retaliate against you. Okay? Retaliation is illegal. And it's written right there in your code book. The green book that you get, all that stuff, all those books that they give you, bro, it's right there. Read it. It'll tell you right there. Retaliation is against the law. So what you have to do is document your argument. You document your argument, okay? After you have documented your argument, you start to show the depletion of your miles, of your paycheck. You show before the argument and you show after the argument. Prime gives you all the evidence that you need to go against them, bro. And that's the truth. Prime gives you everything you need. All your pay stubs, all the mileage you did, everything. When I walked into the office with Jim and I laid down and I showed him all the miles I did prior to the argument to the miles I was doing after the argument, they back paid me everything. Back paid me. And that's the truth. They gave me all the money that I missed because it's retaliation and it's against the law. And it's right there in your handbook that they give you. They just prey on your ignorance. That's all it is. So they see you coming in as a student. You're vulnerable. You don't know the rules. You already got too much on your plate, right? And what I mean by that is you ain't going to take the time to read that book because you're already reading all these other papers. So instead of treating you right, instead of bringing you up right, they push you. Because, and their excuse is we're trying to see who can make it and who can't. And that's when you pick up the phone and you call Jim or whoever's in charge of your dispatchers and you show them all the evidence you got. And they're literally going to shit themselves. Okay? Because they were preying on your ignorance. They came into battle unaware of who you are and what you are about. I went ballistic all over the Qualcomm on my dispatcher. And I let him know that he was starving me out. I let him know that I couldn't pay my rent. And that was the other thing too. They gave me money to pay my rent. I didn't have to pay that back. And I didn't pay it back. So they know when they're at fault. You just have to shove it in their face. That's the whole thing, guys. Retaliation is illegal. It's illegal. Making you do forced dispatch when you're tired, out of hours, or any reason that is legitimate reason, right? You can't be like, hey man, I can't do it because I'm sitting here playing PlayStation, sorry. No, that's not a legitimate reason. It is, hey man, I've been working too hard, you know, I'm tired right now. I didn't get good sleep, I'm sick, I got a 100-degree fever, whatever. They are not allowed to force dispatch. If you decline a load and they retaliate by saying, well, there's no loads out there now, so you're going to have to wait 2 to 3 days. That is called retaliation. Because you know that you can deadhead 100, 200 miles to a place that has loads. You're stuck in Colorado, right, where there are no loads. Or New Mexico, where there are no loads. Or Phoenix, Arizona. You know what I'm saying? There's no loads there at those places. There's nothing coming out of there. But you know that you've been there before. You delivered there on time. But somehow, miraculously, before the argument, you were able to get out of there. Now, see, at Prime, if you're doing flatbed and you're in Colorado, in Pueblo, they got air conditioners and they got slinkies. So there's always air conditioners preloaded on a trailer, and there's always slinkies, always. And if you're a company driver, you get paid by the mileage, so the price of those loads don't matter to you. But I understand for you lease guys that, hey, look, I don't want to put that 98-cent load on my trailer. It's not worth the insurance. I get it. You know? But when they say, hey, well, you got to sit there for 2 to 3 hours, 2 to 3 days, nah. You'll catch me on a load board finding another load. I'll be calling my attorney up, and I'll be saying, open up my contract right now. And that's what would happen. I would open that contract back up, and I'd be searching for my own damn loads. I don't do that, you know? The company I'm at now, guys, I gross anywhere from $1,600 to $2,200 a week. And I don't mean to sound like I'm bragging, but I mean, I've only been doing this for a little over a year and a half. Everybody told me at Prime that your first year you're only going to make about $40,000 to $45,000. Guys, I made $60,000 to $62,000 my first year at Prime, and that was 7 months in my own truck. 7 months. That's it. From April to December. So April, I think that's 7 months. April, May.